All right, over to you, Dan.
Thanks, Hughes. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Middlesex County Cricket League podcast. My name's Dan Huff from Twickenham. Very pleased to be welcoming two hardy souls as I look outside the window and see the snow. Feels very un-cricket-like out there, but great to be able to meet up and chew the fat. Sal Ali from North London. Hi, Sal.
I'm good, Dan. Yeah, very well. Yeah, I looked out the weather. It's not so good at the minute, but hopefully in 3-4 months' time, when the season starts, it'll be balmy sunny evenings again.
Yeah, well, I was outside practicing my throwing with my two 5-year-olds, and it's as bad as ever. That's all I can report back. They've already got better arms than me, and as I say, they're only 5. So all good news. Are you well? This is very un-South African weather, isn't it?
I did have a braai today, just for reference. So I did have it out. There was some meat on the braai, making sure that you continue traditions. So yeah, in the snow, I was out there today. Not snowboarding or anything like that, but making fire
You're
instead.
just fundamentalist, aren't you, from Southern Africa? You've got to braai whatever the weather.
Absolutely.
Well, as our regular listeners will be able to see, this is a slightly different podcast. Not only can you hear our dulcet tones, but if all has gone well, and if you're watching on YouTube, then you can see us with a bit of luck. And we are not technological whiz kids. Well, at least Salman and I definitely aren't. So if anything goes wrong, then obviously it's all Eugene's fault. We need to get that clear right at the very beginning. And of course, if it goes reasonably well, and it will, then it's all to Eugene's credit that we're doing it this way. And the main reason we're doing it this way this evening is that we're going to do the draw for the Middlesex Cup. Now, for those who aren't aware, the Middlesex Cup in 2021 will have 16 teams. So that's the 10 teams from the Premier League and the top 6 finishers in 2020 in Division 2. So the 16 teams will be drawn out and we'll see who they're playing, not just in the last 16, but also in the quarterfinals and the semi-finals. So there is plenty of opportunity for cock-up here, and fingers crossed we don't illustrate that through the rest of this session. But, who knows? Before we get there, though, I mean, we can't really sort of start without talking about the cricket that is on. I mean, we've been joking about snow outside, but there's been some brilliant cricket in Colombo. You've been watching the test?
I have. Yeah, I have. It's been fortunate to watch it. It's been great. I think this wicket's a little bit more of a real test wicket compared to the first test. There's a little bit in it for the bowlers. There's a little bit in it for the batsmen. Well, more importantly, in the first innings, all the wickets went to seamers. Considering it's played in the subcontinent, you'd expect that not to be the case. You'd expect it to be a lot of spin that takes the wickets. But yeah, it's been great to watch. It's been hard to watch Joe Root score so many runs. I don't know what his change of fortune has been. He went from last year to not scoring a ton to, all of a sudden almost scoring 2 double centuries in 2 games. And, there's a new batting consultant that's joined, which I'm sure he'll take a little bit of credit for it. But hey, who knows? It's been great to watch, though.
I knew there'd be a South African angle in there somewhere. For those who are not aware, Jack Callis is the new batting coach, and he wears a proper pair of shorts, unlike Mickey Arthur. I don't know what he's doing there. He looks the right scene. But I mean, you said that about Joe Root. He averaged 42 in Test last year. Yeah, I know about him struggling. It's like 42. I mean, what I would give to average 42 in league cricket, let alone for England.
I suppose when you think about it, his standard is so high. Everybody thinks 42 is not Joe Root-esque. There was talk today when I was listening that the commentary team was saying, in Joe Root standards, he wants to get that average back above 50. It's just mind blowing, and I suppose that's the new area of cricket. Or the era of cricket. When you look at what Williamson, what Kohli, it's just a different league of batsmen out there, and obviously Smith's in somewhere in there too. So yeah, I mean, it's great to watch so many good batsmen at the moment.
I have a feeling, Neil, his average might take a little bit of a knock with the next 4 tests in India. If his average goes up after batting in those 8
great series, that's all it's going to be.
It really is. I mean, England playing more Test cricket than you can shake a stick at, and I'm not complaining. It's brilliant. It's great to watch. Sally, you've been watching it too?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, 2 things that stood out for me is one, good news for club cricketers. Test cricketers can bat just as badly as us, because that first innings Sri Lanka batted against England was total debacle, and how some of the shots they were playing were ridiculous. So when you get out for a hoik on a Saturday when the season starts, don't worry. Happens to be the best. And talking about the best, Jimmy Anderson, what a performer. I mean, at his age, still running in and bowling as well as he can. And, he's proved to be an all-time great. How many players can take wickets in almost every sort of country going consistently like he has? There's people like Dennis Lee in the past who've been classed as great. But I look at some stats of his where out of Australia, his stats are so poor. Whereas Anderson, you look at him everywhere he goes, the guy takes wickets. So he's a testament to any young up and coming bowler how to keep fit, how to remain consistently good, and and still win games for his nation. So it's been a good series so far.
Yeah. I mean, you talk about some of the Sri Lankan batting in that sort of 100 all out, but Mark Wood's dismissal this morning, that was proper club cricket dismissal. You know, your skipper's doing well at the other end. You know, come on, Mark, nice and straight. Oh, whooshuk, tries to smash it over mid wicket. See you, Sonny. And I thought it was wonderful. It happens at all levels, and it's great to see in a way. Sal, I was going to ask you, you mentioned to me before we came on about the wicketkeeper, the Sri Lankan wicketkeeper, Mr. Dick Weller.
Oh, what a character.
What a character he is, yeah.
It's a contrast, isn't it? We've got Australian captain, obviously, who keeps as well, who's, sort of not very nice to some of the Indian batsmen, bragging about, wait till you get to the Gabba. It's not nice, that kind of stuff, is it? You want to play cricket within the, some sort of fair kind of remit. And then you've got Dick Weller, who's, a breath of fresh air, asking Dan Lawrence for advice on how to play shots, and just a right character. So, you've got complete contrast in two guys, obviously, who want to win their games that they're playing and play cricket in a particular kind of way. And just be a good guy, you'll get far. Whereas playing at the minute,
I'm quite a fan. I like watching him. I'm not sure I'd like to play against him. He might drive me around a bend, but he's certainly great value. You picked up on Dick Weller's antics?
Most definitely. I think he's taken a page out of Tim Payne's book. Maybe not as aggressive as Tim Payne, but yeah, he's absolutely. I suppose all wicket keepers, have that role within the side, to make sure that the batsmen think about something else other than batting, and obviously chatting about everything under the sun. I did see the umpires actually got involved for a very short period, just to say it's been a long day so far. Maybe just tone it down a little bit. So yeah, look, it's great watching, and I think it's great entertainment. It's part of cricket, I guess. It's part of the game.
Well, it is. In the end, it's an entertainment business. Entertainment comes in all ways, shapes, and form. It doesn't mean you have to be hitting sixes all the time, but genuine characters like that, and the word character is much overused. It can be a synonym for all sorts of sins. But I think Dick Weller is a genuine character, and he's definitely good value. Last question on this, then: which of the three results are we going to have? Who's going to win?
I think it's. I think Sri Lanka are going to win, and there's one reason. It looks like it's going to turn square on days 4 and 5. Sri Lanka are going to do the best that they can to try and score some runs quickly early tomorrow. I think they'll probably end up with a lead of about 30 runs. Maybe it depends on what happens with the last pair tomorrow, to be honest. So, but yeah, I mean, again, looking at that wicket and looking how much it's deteriorating and looking at how much it's spinning, it's difficult not to see Sri Lanka trying to or come away with a win there, and obviously level the Test series 1-1.
Yeah, that last ball dismissal of the day was a bit of it could be the pivotal moment in the whole Test, actually.
It did look like Joe Root had only been off the field for, 35 minutes or something in the past 2 Tests. He looked like a very, very tired and broken man, but unbelievable innings from him. It was great to watch.
Yeah, I often have that when I get in the 180s as well. It's tough, tough to play on. Moving quickly on. Sal, say again?
I'm about darts 180s there. That's about it.
Well, if only I was. Sal, which way do you see it?
Look,
Sri Lanka?
Quite an obvious statement, but anything over 220 will be difficult on the day 4 and day 5 on that wicket. Obviously, the spinner took 7 today, I think, and it's not going to get any easier, I suppose. Tomorrow's a crucial day. How will England bowl, and if Sri Lanka get their head down and bat like they did in the first innings and get a lead, which puts England under pressure, it could be, some of that order isn't exactly. I mean, the tail obviously we mentioned already. You've got Wood and Anderson and Leach who are 19 and 11. So that's that's not going to be too good if they're 6-7 down. Lawrence inexperienced.
No, I'm going to go the other way. Jimmy's going to come to the party. We're going to bottom out for 140, and we're going to knock off the 170, 180, 190 that we need, and we'll win.
Is Jimmy going to start bowling spin?
Well, he might feel like he should. I'm sure his back's hurting and everything else. But no, I got a feeling that this. I mean, they were saying it on commentary today. This third innings is often one that people sort of overlook. They also talk about the fourth innings, but I think England can play better cricket than they have, and it wouldn't surprise me if we actually saw a fascinating Test match, a thrilling Test match where it goes right down to the wire, and we either win by 1 wicket. Who can complain at Test cricket when that's the case?
Absolutely. Yeah.
We better move on to the task at hand. We want to talk a little bit about some of the stuff that came out of the AGM as well. But before we do that, we'll move on to the Middlesex Cup draw. Now, just as a reminder, there are 2 cup competitions in Middlesex. this year. Now, Sal, can you help me with the name of the second one? I should know this, but I can never remember it. It's the league trophy, right?
Yeah, or I mean, at the minute, we've got the option of the senior cup, which we're talking about just now, in the draw for. And then there could be a junior cup, and then from that we'll derive a junior plate for sides that can knock out the junior cup. So, yeah, I mean, the actual name's not been fixed yet, but you know, we'll call this one the senior competition. So,
yeah, there are levels of complexity about which we don't need to know too much tonight. All we need to know is that the senior cup, if that's what you want to call it, is the top 16 sides from last season. And we thought, well, why not use the pod to actually do the draws, see it happening, and that's what we will do. Eugene, I believe you have a bag.
I have a bag. In addition to a bag,
Tesco's one.
No. I have one slightly better. So just to make sure that everybody's available, we can see we do have 16 balls for those of the close to 50 people that are now watching us. So yeah, I will be sticking those 16 balls into a random bag that's not a Tesco bag, and then be drawing the numbers. How's the draw going to work, Dan?
The draw is quite simple. Certainly, the last 16 part of it is simple enough. In that Eugene will draw out the balls and he will show them to the camera so people can see. Good shake. I like that. Good. I know you're not a football fan, but there's been some very interesting people do the FA Cup draw over the years. Rod Stewart famously did it, the singer, and he definitely had one or too many gins. Yeah. So don't go down that route. Just draw them out and show us the number. So when you do that, then Sal is going to read out the numbers of the home teams, and I'll read out the numbers of the away teams as and when Hughes goes through all 16, and then I'll read out after each tie, just to confirm what the tie is. Then when we've done all 8 games, I'll read out the full draw again, and then we'll discuss all the ins and outs of that, if there are any ins and outs, if we can think of anything to say, and I'm sure we will, before we then go on to do the quarterfinal draw, which we'll do in a similar way, and we'll get to that in due course. So,
Dan, remind me, how did the names go? How did we decide who was number 1, who was number 16?
Well, it was an intricate process, otherwise known as alphabetical order.
Okay.
So it's simply Acton R1. I'm sorry if you're an Acton supporter and you were hoping not to know your number, you do now. Acton R1, and off the top of my head, Winchmore Hill are going to be 16. So it's nothing more than alphabetical, and we'll explain where that goes for the last 16 draw when we get there. So
sounds good.
Is that okay? Sal, all okay with you?
To go.
Tension is palpable.
Right, ball number 1 is
right up to the camera, Hughes.
Number 7.
Harrow St Mary's, who will be at home.
Never an easy place to go. Could be a spinning surface. I'm supposed to say something clever and witty, aren't I, here? But I'm going to struggle.
And they're going to be playing against number 16.
Winchmore Hill.
Who actually won the, what we might be called a Junior Cup last year.
First game. Game number 2.
I should have read that out, shouldn't I? Sorry, Harrow St Mary's versus Winchmore Hill. And?
So game we have Ealing.
Number 4.
Ealing is ball number 4.
And who will they be playing?
Tough place to go.
Yep.
They will be playing number 15.
Oh,
I'll put it back in, you, for goodness sake. That'll be Twickenham.
That is funny.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman.
Can they?
No, they cannot.
Number 10.
Ball number 10.
And that's North Middlesex. Finalists of last year.
Tough place to go.
Playing against ball number 11.
Richmond.
It's a very good game.
North Middlesex v Richmond. Yeah, good one.
Ball number 3.
And we have Crouch End, last year's surprise package in the Premier League.
Playing against number 13.
Stanmore. That'll be a good game.
Yeah.
They're two sides, I think, in a cup competition, are going to be pretty awkward customers.
Yeah, similar sort of profiles as club.
Yeah.
Good spin attack. Good attacking batsman.
Almost dropped that. Number 1.
Which is Acton, as we know. Division 2 sides who had a good season last year. Will be led again by Buster Hill. Will be looking for obviously a good cup run.
Playing against number 5.
Finchley.
Number 9.
Number 9, we have Hornsey.
And they will be playing against number 14.
Oh,
That'll be Teddington.
bit of a trek for Teddington.
Number 8.
And that is Highgate. Home draw for Highgate. Who'll be pleased with that?
Playing against number 6.
Hampstead. Should be 2 balls left. You tell me there are 2 balls left. Yeah.
And that is number 12.
Number 12 is Shepherd's Bush.
And guess who they're going to be playing against?
I think I know.
They're going to be playing against number 2.
Number 2 is another really good cup side, done very well in this competition in previous years, Brondesbury. So, what am I supposed to say now? What do they say on the tip? That, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the draw. That's the way they normally round it up, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's really tough.
Yeah, ties we played on. I can even add that in. I should say, just to repeat then, the draw for anyone who missed any of the teams. It's Harrow St Mary's against Winchmore Hill, Ealing against Twickenham. Thanks very much, Hughes. North Middlesex against Richmond, Crouch End against Stanmore, Acton against Finchley, Hornsey against Teddington, Highgate against Hampstead, Shepherd's Bush against Brondesbury. And the ties are going to be played on or before the 30th of May.
Do we know which games will be on Sky yet or not? Has that been not told us first yet?
Well, Sky, Sky and the BBC will fight it out, and then we will we'll report back on that. Okay. Now, in all seriousness, we'll get this information obviously to Paul Smith so he can place it on the County League website, and we'll send an email around in due course. Bob Baxter, the club chairman, the league chairman, will also be sending around some correspondence on that, and that will outline all the ins and outs of the competition this year. Any ties that catch your eye there, Sal, in particular?
Well, so we're looking at the lineup. We have got 1, 2, actually 3 all Premier Division sides playing ties against each other. Obviously, you guys won't be too pleased about having travel over to Ealing and early season probably when they'll be.
It's not far. That's one thing I'd say. That's one plus.
I think they always use these kind of games as a good prep for league matches. So I imagine they'll be pretty strong in terms of personnel. I'm not sure what you guys will be like. So it's going to be it'll be a good warm-up though and a good test for the rest of the season. Like you mentioned, Crouch and Stanmore, that could be a good game. Both good attacking sides. Got some good young players along with some seasoned cricketers who play, good hard cricket. So that could be an interesting one. And then I'm interested in seeing Highgate Hampstead because it's Highgate's first time actually playing in the senior rounds of this competition in this new kind of format. So taking on, season campaigns from Hampstead who, strong Premier Division club, lots of history. That could be a potential banana skin for Hampstead if they don't, go with a strong side and take the game too seriously. So yeah, it's good. It's a good draw.
Super. We will see what it brings. Now, we're actually going to follow the pattern of this year's FA Cup, where those who follow football remember that the 4th round draw was made at the same time as the 5th round draw, and not that Sal or I are interested in that anymore, because both of our teams got beat by Southampton. So but we did note the way the draw was done, and we're going to follow that here. And it's for the very simple reason that planning fixtures is difficult enough in a short summer, that we're going to do the next round as well, so that teams will know at least if they get through whether they're going to be home or away. So if you might well be able to plan fixtures a bit better by knowing that. With that in mind, what I'll do is I'll ask Eugene to make sure he's just got the first 8 balls.
I do.
Hand. You do?
All, yep.
Right. The way that will work is Eugene, it'll be the same logic as before. We'll draw out the numbers. And number 1, I can tell you now, will be the first tie, the winners of the first tie that came out. So that'll be Harrow St Mary's or Winchmore Hill. And Sal and I will do exactly the same thing again. We will read through based on what's already been drawn out so that folks know who they get in the quarterfinal if they get through. It's really much more straightforward than we could ever make it sound. Hughes, over to you.
All right. First game is number 5.
Number 5, and these guys will be at home. The winners of Acton versus Finchley.
Good for Acton. 2 home games.
Yeah, or Finchley.
Well, officially got to go to Acton, haven't they?
Oh,
So,
yeah,
but yeah, they'll be at home in the quarters if they get there.
They'll be playing against number 7.
Number 7, Highgate or Hampstead?
Number 2.
And number 2 is going to be Ealing or Twickenham.
Ealing.
Ealing or Twickenham.
Ealing or Twickenham.
Oh, sorry, or Twickenham, yeah.
Playing against number 4.
Crouch End or Stanmore?
Number 3.
Which will be North Middlesex or Richmond.
Against number 8.
Shepherd's Bush or Brondesbury?
Number 1.
Which is Harrison Mary's or Winchmore Hill.
And the last one is number 6.
Hornsey or Teddington? So there we go. Now, I'll read those out. I totally understand that people may not be able to register them, but just so folks know, the quarterfinal draw will be Acton or Finchley against Highgate or Hampstead. Ealing or Twickenham against Crouch End or Stanmore. North Mid or Richmond will play Shepherd's Bush or Brondesbury. And Harrow St Mary's or Winchmore Hill will play Hornsey or Teddington. So that's the quarterfinals. And we are going to go the whole hog here, folks. And we're going to do the semi-final draw as well. So there may be a distinctly large number of ifs in this, but again, for fixture planning purposes, it makes sense to get it all on the table now. So, Huge, we need you to go down to just the 4 balls. Please.
I have just the 4.
Good man.
And there were 4.
I'm a bit worried. Nothing's gone completely wrong yet, which is...
That is number 4.
Number 4 is going to be either Harrow St Mary's or Winchmore or Hornsey or Teddington.
Playing against number 1.
That'll be Acton, Finchley, Highgate or Hampstead. I should say that Harrow St Mary's have managed to get themselves home draws all the way through, including the semi-finals, if they get there.
Number 2.
So that's going to be Ealing or Twickenham or Crouch End or Stanmore. So Ealing, and again, like Dan mentioned, on Harrow St Mary's, also got potentially home draws.
And they're going to be playing against game number 3.
And that is North Middlesex, Richmond, Shepherd's Bush or Brondesbury. So I'll repeat that again very quickly. It's going to be Harrow St Mary's, Winchmore Hill, Hornsey or Teddington against Acton, Finchley, Highgate or Hampstead. And it's going to be Ealing, Twickenham, Crouch End or Stanmore against North Middlesex, Richmond, Shepherd's Bush or Brondesbury. And if anyone can repeat that ad infinitum, then you've done very, very well and you should be on the TV, because we will need to write all that down so folks know. But the deed is done. That's the draw for the 2021 Middlesex Cup senior version. And let's hope for good weather and get some decent cricket in. I can give you the dates of those as well if you're interested. So as I say, the last 16s by on or before the 30th of May. The quarterfinals are on or before the 20th of June, semi-finals by the 15th of August, and the final is the Saturday after the season ends, the 11th of September. There we are. Guys, before we end, very quickly, we have had information from Nick Brown about the AGM and about the results. Now, we're not going to go through it all in great detail because it, probably won't make the most riveting viewing, us talking about the intricacies of the MCCL's constitution. But there were a few bits that came out that we thought might flag up. Sal, you've been keeping an eye on this. What did you notice?
Before we crack onto that point, I just want to mention the junior competition, the plate and the junior section. We'll be doing draw for that, I think, in 2 weeks' time, you said, guys?
That's the plan.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we haven't forgotten you guys. All the other clubs that we mentioned yet in the competition, that draw will take place in 2 weeks' time. There will be more clubs taking part in that as well this season, due to obviously championship merging with the county league. So that might be a bit more complicated. But
that's the bit where the cock-ups come in, isn't it? That's where we get it all.
Track some more balls down from somewhere. Anyone wants to provide him with some, send him in to him. I'm sure he'll take him.
Bombard him with them.
So that will take place. So come back to what damage to the AGM. The things that I highlighted were obviously there's new sort of ruling now in place regarding umpires in the second 11. So if your club can provide a qualified umpire to stand in your game this season, then if they do that on I think is it one, basically you get 1 point for every 3 games they stand in for you. So you can accumulate 4 points, bonus points in total for the season. So again, there are requirements for that. Again, just check the league website for the finer details on how you actually qualify to get those points. Something we've spoken about as well in the past, Sunday cricket will take place for clubs who can arrange fixtures in advance regarding playing games on a Sunday rather than a Saturday, which I know happened with you guys this season. So which again, on paper sounds a good idea. You know, you've got a big ground to play on. It helps in reducing costs of hiring grounds on a Saturday. Might also improve availability. But again, there are restrictions on players having played Saturday to play on a Sunday. Again, that stuff I would say look on the website and you'll get everything you need to know regarding that. And the final one was the tees provision we mentioned in the podcast before. Again, in the third tier, there's the option of having tea. So if you feel you want to play the game and bring your own sandwiches and your little pasta lunches you get from Sainsbury's and the meal deals, then that's more than fine. If you want to have a tea, then again, has to be pre-arranged. And again, all the details you will find on the league website where it's all in print.
Yeah, I think it's important to look at that as well. And I totally understand that not everybody's going to be racing there this evening on a cold January evening to do it. But well, there is that. Unless you're an NFL fan, you might switch over and watch that. But yeah, even then, there's it's important to know that the league has thought about this. And some people don't like it. I understand that, and you know, some people do like it. But a lot of these things are actually, you know, to be negotiated. If, for example, you know, your club is asked to play on a Sunday, or the fourth 11 are asked to play on a Sunday, or could you play on a Sunday? You can say no. There's no obligation to this whatsoever. It's just if it works for both teams to get them playing on better grounds, and it's purely meant to be the option to try and improve the cricket that is played. And if a side doesn't want to do it, it's not a problem. And with the teams, very clear that it's third tier tees, so it's thirds, fourths, fifths, sixths. It's not first and seconds. They carry on exactly as they were. And the big challenge is about actually clubs who may not have the facilities to provide that, or you know, a lot of sides will play in venues where just giving the, you know, providing it is really difficult. So again, it's very much a case of clubs need to talk to each other beforehand, and Nick's explained that in quite some detail in the literature that's come out. You know, we're just sort of passing on the information, really. Do you want to come in on any of those?
No, I think you guys have pretty much summed them all up, which is good. I think the vote was good reading from Nick. It kept us busy for a while, but yeah, I think it was comprehensive. And yeah, I suppose just from my perspective, just really looking forward to getting a full season in. You know, I know that we're talking about the season and all the different rules. You know, I just really hope we start on time with pre-season, middle of April. You know, we get the league underway first week or second week of May. I'm just really keen to play some proper cricket this year. I'm not saying yet last year was was bad. It was great to get out, but yeah, cabin fever has properly kicked in the Berger household.
Yeah, I hear you. If you'd have said to me in March we're going to get 9 weeks that look a bit like a league season, I'd have said you're mentally insane. There's no chance. And we did, and I thought that was fantastic. But the idea of going back to proper cricket with 18 games, bring it on. And you know, I think we should be reasonably confident now. The vaccine is on its way.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. Don't want to sort of tempt fate. Yeah, fingers crossed.
There were other motions were carried as well at the age, and not just the ones I've mentioned. So again, if you have the time, and I recommend it to players, officials, anyone who's involved in your club, just read them. The minutes are on the website. Won't take you too long, and you can understand why things have happened. You know, and what's new that's happened as well. Rather than on a Saturday when it happens, you think, "Oh, I never got told about that. Why didn't it mention to me?" So just pop on the website. It's all on there, all the content that you need. So that could be your winter bedtime reading for the next 2 or 3 days.
Yep, absolutely. Guys, just going to end on a slightly somber note. I mean, some news came through, and we all knew this guy pretty well. I've been played against him and been statistically bombarded by him at various times as well. But Hornsey's Johnny Bruce passed away not so long ago. Now, obviously, you know, this happens. People do move on to the other side, Great Pavilion in the Sky, but very sad sort of scenario with Johnny. Very well known around the league. I played against him. Always had a ding dong with him. But it was a competitive game of cricket, and Johnny he lived for it, and he lived for Hornsey. He had stats going back to goodness knows when, 1725, and he was a cricket man. And it's always sad when cricket guys move on way before you think that their time is right. So if anyone from Hornsey's listening, then obviously the three of us all send our regards to everybody who was close to Johnny, because it'd be a shame not to see him around the circuit next year.
Oh, can I just chuck in as well? I mean, obviously on that sad note, one of the Richmond players as well, who actually played him when I was a schoolboy, a guy called Greg Neem, same age as me, so not too old.
What, that old?
Yeah.
Oh, no, sorry.
We played a lot of school cricket together when he was younger at London schools. Very good cricket when he was younger, playing their first team at the age of 17. Richmond member, he captained their third level, I think captained their two, just been the club for quite a while. Sadly, he passed away as well a few weeks ago. So just again, send any condolences on from the three of us in the league as well to his family and friends, and Richmond as well as a cricket club for this sad loss.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. On a more upbeat note, we may well do this again with the video live stream, unless we're told it's completely heinous. But we'd like to hear what you think of it. We'd like to hear any feedback you've got, whether it be good or whether it be bad. Or if it's bad, then constructive wouldn't be such a bad thing either. You lot are clowns is not constructive feedback. So even if it might be true. So yeah, do tell us what you think. You can certainly email all three of us. Our details are easily accessible on the Middlesex County League website, and yeah, we'd like to know what you think.
Really. They can comment on the YouTube page, can't they?
Yep, I most definitely can. Yep, either the thumbs up or the thumbs down. A couple of comments on the YouTube page. We have got up to about 45 at one stage, maybe close to 50 when I was not looking. Yeah, it's been educational. It's been fun.
And also
Instagram as well.
Yeah, we've got Instagram page as well, and we should use in the setup as well. So we're moving forward.
Oh, apparently, Instagram is moving forward, I believe. Yeah, cool. All good. Yeah, brilliant stuff. Folks, always a pleasure. And we'll no doubt reconvene in a couple of weeks. All being well, as you say, Sal, to do the draw for the for the other Middlesex Cup.
Yeah, brilliant. Super.
Okay. Cheers, fellas. See you soon.
Cheers. Bye.